Tigray stands as a region steeped in ancient history, its roots tracing back to the very dawn of Ethiopian civilization. This northern region boasts a rich tapestry of cultural heritage, evident in its awe-inspiring archaeological wonders and ancient traditions. The rugged landscapes of Tigray conceal breathtaking, rock-hewn churches, testaments to the region's deep-seated Christian faith. These architectural marvels, often carved precariously into cliff faces, stand as enduring symbols of Tigray's spiritual devotion and artistic ingenuity. Among these ancient treasures, the city of Aksum reigns supreme. As the heart of the ancient Aksumite Empire, Aksum once commanded a vast trading network, its influence stretching across the Red Sea and beyond. Today, the legacy of this bygone era lives on in the form of towering obelisks, intricately carved tombs, and the ruins of grand palaces, whispering tales of a glorious past. These archaeological wonders offer a tangible link to Tigray's illustrious history, drawing visitors from across the globe to marvel at their splendor. Beyond its architectural wonders, Tigray is a land of vibrant cultural traditions passed down through generations. The Tigrayan people, renowned for their resilience and strong sense of identity, have preserved their unique customs and rituals, keeping their heritage alive. Traditional music and dance play a central role in Tigrayan culture, providing a vibrant backdrop to celebrations and ceremonies. The rhythmic beats and colorful attire reflect the spirit and vitality of the Tigrayan people. Tigray's cultural significance extends far beyond its borders. The region stands as a cradle of Ethiopian civilization, its historical sites and traditions holding immense value for the entire nation. The preservation of Tigray's cultural heritage is not merely a matter of regional pride, it is a matter of national importance. These ancient treasures offer a glimpse into the shared history of all Ethiopians, reminding us of the enduring power of culture and tradition. The Tigray People's Liberation Front, or TPLF, emerged from the rugged mountains of Tigray in the 1970s, driven by a potent blend of Marxist-Leninist ideology and Tigrayan nationalism. Their objective was clear: to overthrow the brutal Derg regime that had plunged Ethiopia into chaos and oppression. After years of guerrilla warfare, the TPLF, in alliance with other rebel groups, achieved their goal in 1991, toppling the Derg and ushering in a new era for Ethiopia. With the TPLF at the helm of the newly formed Ethiopian People's Revolutionary Democratic Front coalition, Meles Zenawi, a Tigrayan, assumed the reins of power, marking the beginning of a new chapter in Ethiopian history. The TPLF's influence extended far beyond Tigray, shaping the political landscape of the entire nation. Under their rule, Ethiopia embarked on a path of economic development and political reform, albeit one marked by controversy and accusations of authoritarianism. On the economic front, the TPLF government implemented a series of reforms aimed at liberalizing the economy and attracting foreign investment. These measures, coupled with substantial investments in infrastructure, led to significant economic growth, transforming Ethiopia from one of Africa's poorest nations into one of its fastest-growing economies. The construction of roads, dams, and other infrastructure projects created jobs and spurred economic activity. However, the TPLF's rule was not without its critics. Accusations of human rights abuses, political repression, and corruption dogged the EPRDF government. Critics argued that the economic progress came at the cost of political freedoms, with the TPLF maintaining a tight grip on power. The government's response to dissent was often heavy-handed, silencing opposition voices and curtailing freedom of speech. The seeds of the Tigray War were sown in the shifting sands of Ethiopian politics. Abiy Ahmed, from the Oromo ethnic group, ascended to the premiership in 2018, promising a new era of unity and reform. However, his vision for a more centralized Ethiopia, coupled with his efforts to dismantle the TPLF's grip on power, ignited long-simmering tensions between the federal government and the Tigrayan leadership. The situation escalated dramatically in November 2020, when Abiy ordered a military offensive against the Tigray region, accusing the TPLF of attacking a federal military base. The TPLF, in turn, accused Abiy of orchestrating a power grab and attempting to consolidate control over Tigray. What began as a political dispute rapidly spiraled into a full-blown armed conflict, engulfing the region in violence and plunging Ethiopia into a humanitarian crisis. The Tigray War has had devastating consequences for the region and its people. The conflict has resulted in widespread human rights abuses, including extrajudicial killings, sexual violence, and forced displacement. Thousands have been killed and millions have been displaced from their homes, seeking refuge in makeshift camps or across the border in Sudan. The war has also exacerbated existing ethnic tensions within Ethiopia, with reports of atrocities committed by all sides. The conflict has further destabilized the Horn of Africa region, drawing in neighboring Eritrea on the side of the Ethiopian government and raising fears of a wider regional conflagration. The Tigray War has triggered a humanitarian catastrophe of staggering proportions. The region, already grappling with poverty and food insecurity, has been pushed to the brink of famine. The conflict has disrupted agricultural production, destroyed livelihoods, and shattered the region's fragile economy, leaving millions dependent on humanitarian aid for survival. The United Nations has described the situation in Tigray as one of the world's worst humanitarian crises, with millions facing acute food insecurity and a severe lack of access to essential services such as healthcare, clean water, and sanitation. The conflict has created ideal conditions for the spread of diseases, further compounding the suffering of the Tigrayan people. Access for humanitarian organizations has been severely restricted, hampering efforts to deliver aid to those in desperate need. The Ethiopian government has been accused of deliberately obstructing aid delivery and using hunger as a weapon of war. The scale of the humanitarian needs far outstrips the resources available, leaving many vulnerable people without the life-saving assistance they desperately require. The international community has responded with alarm to the crisis in Tigray, calling for an immediate ceasefire, unhindered humanitarian access, and accountability for human rights abuses. However, despite diplomatic efforts, a lasting solution to the conflict remains elusive and the humanitarian crisis continues to deepen.